Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm gonna interview Simo Ed, another web developer in here on YouTube. And yeah, Ed, you want to just introduce yourself, let people know who you are?
Yes, hello. I am Dev Ed on YouTube. I do tutorials on JavaScript and all the other good stuff, Frontend mostly. I lived in Romania. I moved recently to Germany, and yeah, that's a
All
short
right,
one.
all right, good stuff, good stuff. So that's so. Just tell us a little bit about how did you got started, like into web development and stuff.
All right, so officially, I would say I started around 2 years ago. Before that, I actually experimented, which is kind of a funny story. So, in around when I was 14, 15, I was really into gaming. So, I'm like, hey, I need to learn how to make video games. So, that's the first thing. I went to YouTube and I searched how to make games programming. And this is really bad because the first thing came up was learn to make game engines with C++. Imagine this at
Yeah.
14 years old. So I clicked on it. I obviously C++ is very difficult and creating in the game engine is no joke. So quickly discouraged there, but I was still fascinated with programming. So I kind of left it after a few weeks and I restarted around first year of college or second year of college around that time. And I started again with game development. That was my main focus always. But main I really don't want to talk too much about game development, but
No, you can
just to
you can talk. You can talk.
just to quickly wrap it up, what happened is I felt like I wasn't getting too much done because game development involves so many steps from writing scripts and other things like assets, like 3D modeling, sound, a lot of things. That takes a lot of time for a single person to do. So I have no idea, but somehow I came across a HTML tutorial on YouTube and I clicked on it and I was blown away that you can just write in 3 seconds something and then you can see it on the screen. So I think that was a really, really big kind of fulfillment, I would say, that, I can just write a bit and then you can see the results, instant results. So that was really, I was just hooked ever since. Then I started looking into CSS, JavaScript, and all the other stuff. But that's how basically everything started for me.
So you said you started like 2 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, around 2 years ago, I'd say like 1 year professionally.
Right. So you did you go like to university? Are you self-taught?
So as soon as I was doing English literature and totally unrelated in university, and as soon as I picked up a bit of programming, I quit instantly. So no, I don't have any degrees in computer science or anything, and I still am doing okay. Just to quickly, for anyone who wants to know quickly, I wonder if you can do okay.
So yeah, this is just to prove that if you guys really want, you can get into web development without any degree. This is what I'm trying to tell a lot of people, and there is still some people that they believe that having a certificate is going to be like a gate, like a pass to have a job. It's not like that. It's not really like that.
Every job interview I've been to never asked for any degrees. And even the first job I worked at didn't ask for degrees. They just asked for what skills you have, literally. So I wouldn't worry too much. Like I would say, like if you look only at my degree and nothing else, I probably wouldn't even want to work for that company. Like if that's the only thing that you look at, like the degree, like you could be like you can have write a variable and you don't know anything and you just have a degree and then you hire someone. That's, I don't know.
So where did you start like to learn? Did you find some kind of website? Did you use some books? Where did you start to learn?
Oh, that's kind of a hard question. I initially started with YouTube, just messing around, just try to see what sticks, just searching around random videos. Then I came across a lot of resources that probably a lot of people find when they start learning web development, like Free Code Camp, right? Udemy. Oh, there are like 10,000 of them these days. Pluralsight. I started just cherry picking. Like, I would find a good course on Pluralsight or something, and I would just watch that. Then I'd see an article on Medium. I would just go with that. And eventually, I just kind of narrowed down my learning to people I really like, and I just followed them exclusively. So at the beginning, you might just like go on, I don't know, Udemy, let's say, and you search, React course or something. But I think it's really important for you to realize and to understand like which teacher can help you understand the most and to actually do things, right? Because you might watch a tutorial and nothing might stick and you might not know to do anything right after you're done with the course, right? So finding people that you really like, that will help you a ton. So I would say just try to see, and a lot of people say, just read books or read posts. It's different for everyone, I'd say. Like for me, it's easier to definitely watch videos or just read short articles because that sticks for me. But for other people, books might be really good. So the thing that I would advise is try to find what helps you the most. Like videos might not be for you, but just try to see what helps you the most.
Yeah, good one. So basically, you were saying like you were learning from all these different places. What was like your favorite one?
That's a hard question. I'm not even sure. I don't think I would have a favorite one, because as soon as I just saw like specific instructors that I really liked, I just started watching everything from them. So that's how I learned the most, I'd say. So, for example, Steven Grider is like a really, really smart guy. And I don't know, his style just sticks with me. So the benefit is he has courses on things I really like React and Node. So it's just perfect. But usually if that doesn't stick to me, then I'll just try to see whatever I can find online.
Yeah. So when you started to learn, you go into all these kind of places, when was the point that you felt like, okay, now I've been through all these places and learning all these things, now I feel that I'm ready, or I don't feel that I'm ready? What was it for you?
Oh man, I don't think I've ever felt like I was ready. My girlfriend was just like, hey, you gotta just apply for a job, because I don't think we as web developers or any developers ever feel 100% ready. I don't know. I think I would be just lying to myself if I would say like, oh, I'm super ready, I know everything. Again, it's really good to be confident, which I struggle sometimes and be like, yeah, I know, let's go, let's do this. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was 100% confident. The thing you need to do is just go and do it, because you don't have anything to lose. Like you would say, especially if you look at like job requirements, that might be very intimidating sometimes. They'd be like, they ask so many things, right, in the requirements on a job posting. And you're like, I don't think I know all of those things. You don't need to know all of those things. Just apply and see how it goes.
Right. So
just quickly, like worst case scenario, also what's the worst thing that can happen? You gain interview experience, right? You get more comfortable giving interviews. Is that the correct one?
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to tell people all the time, is just like, even if you fail on an interview or you don't feel ready, apply anyway, because you're going to get experience and the next time you're going to do better. I failed interviews before, and it just gave me more experience. I have been in so many interviews, and it's always good as well to choose like the right company where you are going to work to.
It's so important to be comfortable.
This just like leads to the other question is, how was like your interview for your first job? Was it like hard? Man. You were like really nervous? Did they ask you a lot of difficult questions? Or did they ask you some whiteboard challenges? How was it for you?
All right, this is quite funny. Man, all of these stories are quite funny, actually. So back in my town in Romania, I wouldn't say it's heavily tech centric, especially in my area where I used to live. In my city, there was only like one or two web dev jobs out of the whole city. So yeah, so literally I just contacted them through Facebook, and I'm like, hey, are you guys looking for someone? Because I'm ready to go. And they're like, hey, just come for an interview. Literally, that's just, I didn't apply. I didn't do anything. I just contacted them and like, hey, let's go. Let's do this. And I'm like, okay, just come to an interview. So I went to the interview, and yeah, they sat me down. They looked through my resume. I had like a few projects back then. They weren't great, but hey, there were still projects. And he looked through my GitHub and everything, and he really liked everything. And let me just think, what questions did he ask me? I believe he asked me what a event listener is in JavaScript. So I think that was the only technical question that they asked me. And yeah, that was quite easy. It was kind of a chill talk. He just talked more about what the company is, what I like to do, what are my future plans, and stuff like that. And then at the end of the interview, I actually left, and they told me they were going to call me in a week. And they called me after a week, and they told me to create a full-blown Angular full stack project for them with backend and everything. And if I'm qualified, then they will give me the job. All right, awesome. And the salary is 200 euros. So guess what I did? So obviously I'm not experienced in Angular. I've never done Angular before. And for 200, 300 euros, that was definitely a no-go for me. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. It kind of depends on the company, I'd say, if they give you like algorithmic questions and stuff like that. I guess it just depends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. In this kind of interviews, I have said no to some companies as well, because you are going there, you just feel like the vibe is not for you, or they are just asking too much for what they give. So yeah, it really makes no sense, but it's good just like to get some experience, like you were saying. So you basically rejected these interviews.
Yeah. And just a quick note on the second interview that I actually got the job. We just talk like we're talking right now without any
exactly
crazy questions. Like literally, I just talked to them chill like this. I got hired.
I've been in the same exactly situation. For example, my previous job before this one was just like what you were saying. I was like in an interview with my manager at the time, and we were just like having a chill conversation about like programming and stuff. Nothing of hard questions. He was just asking what I was doing, and I felt like, wow, this is like a really good vibe. This is good people. And before, I was in other interviews where these people, they were just like trying to, like be, oh, I'm the boss, I whatever, and asking like these stupid questions. I was like, no, this place is not for myself. So yeah, and the good thing is like you were saying, is in the beginning maybe you want to get like your first job or whatever, but it's just like it's good for you to choose well where you're going to work, because you're going to be spending there some time. And
for sure. Yeah. Again, even just if you, I don't know, like if you don't feel comfortable and if you don't feel the vibe of the company, I would just say just try a different one, because there are a lot of companies out there. There's no way.
Yeah,
there has to be companies that are looking for web developers.
Yeah, and people they still don't believe that at the moment there is a huge demand for web developers, and people they still think no, it's gone now. There is no demand, but there is, and it will be even more. So when you were like in the beginning, like trying to get your first job, you were just like touching on the subject about projects, that your projects were
for sure.
What kind of projects did you had when you were applying for your first job?
Oh man, I had the most cliche type of projects you can imagine. I had the weather app that everybody did. Has. Oh my goodness. I didn't have a to-do list, so I had an advantage there. But let me think. I had a weather app. I had a music app. It was called Tap Music, I believe, where you would tap on different sounds and it would create sounds. It was kind of fun, actually. So I was really proud of that one. I actually remade that with React and added a lot of crazy stuff. But wow. So that one... then I just had a few static pages, maybe. Let me see what. Yeah, I think that's about it. I didn't have too many crazy things.
All right,
yeah,
all right. So
static pages.
When you were applying, like for your first job, let's say, you already knew React, so you were quite comfortable with JavaScript.
No. Before okay, I wouldn't say I was proficient, but yeah, I was learning it for about, let's say, half a year maybe.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So basically, like you are more of a front-end web developer, back-end web developer. What do you consider yourself?
I would say I'm more of a front-end developer, but I also really like messing around with design and with stuff like that. So I really like working in Figma and doing just crazy SVG things, animations. My website actually has a animation, if you want to look it up. I'm gonna put your website down in here on the description, and your channel as well for everyone. Just don't have to search for you. They can just like go there. Wow, can I actually? Okay, never mind. What was I talking about?
The animation.
Yeah, so I would consider myself more of a definitely of a.
There's something wrong with your mic. It's just like you. Oh. There was like some kind of noise, but.
Oh, I apologize. How about now?
Yeah, it's good.
Is it okay?
Maybe you were just like touching it or something, but yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Sorry. I would consider myself more of a front end, but I also like to experiment with design and backend as well. So with Node.js, Mongo, SQL. Recently, I started messing around more with SQL and Postgres, for those who are wondering. And
right.
Yeah. So definitely more front end. I really like front end, like React, Redux, all the other crazy bananas.
Right. So you saying that at work you work like in the front end, but at home when you are like doing your own projects, just like messing around, you just learn a bit of back end.
Yeah, at home I was just learning a bit of everything. At my job, I was fully just working JavaScript. I wasn't even working with HTML and CSS because we had 2 designers that were taking care of that. So I was just spending 100% of my time JavaScript.
Right. So
that was fun.
You mentioned that you are originally from Romania and that you moved now to Germany. What was like your reasons like to move?
For sure, the main reason is really multiple reasons, but I would say again, lack of jobs in that country, very behind. I'm not saying there are no jobs because there definitely are jobs in the capital, but usually if you compare salaries to Germany and like the UK, just anything else in comparison, it's really low. Our minimum wage in Romania is 180, 50 euros. Oh my God, you cannot live off that.
And this is like something that I try to tell everyone in here, the subscribers and everybody that is commenting. For example, people from India and other places that they say, "Oh, I can't just get a job in here in my country," or they pay like really just a few dollars per month or something, and they are all trying to work like remotely. And I'm just telling them that. In the beginning is really hard because you don't have how to prove yourself that you can do the job that they want. So the best solution that you have to do is really just move to another country. Look at me. I'm from Portugal, and I had a degree in civil engineering before.
Okay.
That's why I moved to UK, trying to get a job with a better salary, because in Portugal, like, the minimum salary is like 500 euros or something. And I was like, no, I'm not going to stay in here. And I want to improve, get a better quality of life. That's why I moved, because people, if they are just complaining, they are going to be stuck in that all their life. That's why I say, if you want, you have to act. And you are just one example.
Yes. And I'm not even saying that you need to move necessarily. The first job, again, that I worked at, I worked even remotely there. So I worked from Romania as a remote. So if you really try, you can also do that.
So how did you? So you say you were working like remotely to another company?
Yes.
So how did you manage that? Because there is lots of
oh man, that was crazy.
lots of people trying to do that.
Yeah. So if you've never worked as a dev before, doing remote can be definitely a challenge. I really believe if you're there, it's way easier if you've never worked before. If you worked before and you have some experience in web dev, you can pull off remote work way easier. But yeah, it's just like boom, boom, everything left and right. You just get used to it. Like there's nothing you can do about it. You just try to learn how everything works together. Just try to communicate as much as possible. Again, just communicate. It's so important to communicate, especially if you're remote. So that's my biggest tip, I would say. If you're working remotely, try to communicate as much as possible.
Yeah, and this is something that I try to tell people as well, is everybody thinks that working remotely is just like a fairy tale. It's just like flowers and roses. But if you are someone who is just starting out in web development and you want to work remotely, you're going to be like really in a bad position, because you don't have anyone next to you to ask questions. If you don't know something, you don't have anyone to help you out. It's just a nightmare. You need to push yourself, work like 200% harder. Is it true or not?
Yeah, that was you said it perfectly. That was the biggest problem. You sometimes had questions and there was nobody there to answer it because they were either busy with something or they weren't online. So you're stuck with that problem. And it can be really...
I bet you get like really nervous and like they are paying me to do something and I have no idea how to do this. And
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's something you just have to get through, because what you're saying right now is like imposter syndrome, right? You're feeling that you don't deserve to be there, or you're getting paid but you're not actually doing as much work as you think you're doing. But yeah, that's just something you have to get through it. There are a lot of people that do way less than you ever think you're doing. So I just be confident you're doing fine. If it's your first web dev job, just try to learn as much as possible, and try to communicate.
This is what I try to tell people. Is just like their first job as web developer mostly is just like gonna do some easy stuff. The senior developers, the colleagues, they help all the time. We all have been through the same process, so we know the drill. We know how it works. So people, they just like worry too much about these. I'm just trying to say, and now with interviews like with you as well, we are trying to share this to people and say, look, this is not as hard as you think it is.
Yeah, they're not going to hire you and they're not going to tell you, hey, rebuild our entire project in React or something like that. Don't worry. They're not going to let you, okay?
Exactly. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Guys, if you don't know, we just mentioned in the beginning of this video, but if you didn't catch it, I have the link down in the description. Why did you start your YouTube channel, and what you want to do with it? What you want like to give to people?
Yeah, this is an awesome question, and I'm glad you asked this, because initially my goal with this channel was, well, to backtrack a bit, when I started learning, I had a few issues finding tutorials that I was looking for. So let's say smooth scrolling in JavaScript, right? So when you click on a link tag in the page, and then it would like smoothly scroll down. Like people usually would do this with jQuery. So if you mostly search online, you would get results on Stack Overflow.
Oh, I think was that video that I found your channel now that you are talking about. I was looking because I have a video on smooth scroll with jQuery, like you were saying, but I wanted to do with JavaScript. And I couldn't.
Yes.
I think that was how I found you, by the way.
Oh, full circle. Nice.
Yeah.
So to get back to your question, my goal was to do these kind of tutorials that you would probably have hard time finding online. So my struggles were converted into tutorials. So for people that are having hard time finding like more obscure topics, that was the entire goal of the channel. But lately I've been talking about more of web dev and other things. My last video, I was experimenting more with like building a full what was it, like an SVG site, a full landing page. So I'm kind of doing different things also because I love web dev. It's really a big passion of mine. So but yeah, that was the initial start for my channel, definitely, because it was so frustrating, man. I had to build a site and I wanted to do the smooth scroll and I wasn't using jQuery. So the project wasn't using jQuery. So I needed to implement that. So I'm like, okay, we got to do a tutorial. People might be looking for this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And it's really, did you ever felt like, I'm tired of web development, like what people they call like burnout?
Every day. I'm joking.
I need to take a break from these. For example, I felt these already a couple of times. Like, I'm tired of these. I really enjoy to do web development, but sometimes I just get like with these. Do you get like the same thing? Like, I need to take a break from these, or?
I think the thing most people need to understand is that everybody's gonna get burned out. Everybody. You can look at the most amazing people out there, okay? Even the big YouTube channels, right? Like I shouted out Trevor C Media. Like he's doing so much work out there, and he looks like he's programming 24/7 and just pumping out these tutorials and courses and everything. But trust me, he gets burned out as well. So I think that's the first step, is to understand that it's normal. It happens to everyone. I think that's really important to understand. But what was the question? I got tracked over. Okay.
Yeah, about the burnout, if you ever feel it. But yeah,
yes.
I was just like trying to say that I felt the same, and we were talking before our interview just started.
Yeah,
we were talking about that you have doing before like some game development, and I was like, I was like these few weeks ago, I was like starting to get a bit burned out by everything at work and coming back doing tutorials. And I started to do like game development just by curiosity, and I started to enjoy it. So now I'm like thinking maybe in the future I can do some simple tutorials with a HTML canvas or something for people to learn. And
that's actually a really good thing that you're saying. Yeah, if you're burned out, hey, try something different. Maybe you're going to find something different that's fun, like game development. Maybe experiment with Unity and C# a bit. Hey, maybe it's going to take your mind off the other things. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, good. So yeah, I think we are getting like into the end of the interview.
Yeah, sure.
Just want to ask a few things more, like what kind of channels do you follow? What kind of channels you think you would like to recommend for other people to see?
All right, so let's see. What channels would I recommend? It's going to be more front-end centric, just because that's what I focus on. But okay, let's see. So I would say a great introductory course if you haven't done anything so far, even though a lot of people say it's outdated. I would say Cold Steel's course is really good on Web Developer Bootcamp. It's just such a, it just gets you excited about everything. So I would recommend that just to see if you like web development, because I think Colt is a great teacher. He's just so down to earth, just like we're talking right now. He's not super serious, but he's really smart. So I would recommend that as a starting. And if you really enjoy, you can get more into JavaScript probably. If you're going to the front end route there, oh my God, you can find a lot of great people. Let me see on top. Who's really good with JavaScript? If you're on YouTube, you can follow Brad Traversy. He has a lot of good things on JavaScript. Andrew Mead on Udemy has a good course on JavaScript, modern JavaScript. Stephen Grider also has a ES6 course if you want to get full up to date. For React, I would say Wes Boss is really good. Scott Dolinsky, the people who run Syntax. Who else? Yeah, I would say those guys are really good.
Yeah, good stuff. So people now they can see more resources, more channels, more courses that they can check if they are still not sure where to go. And yeah, basically now just for the final question is just do you think that people they can still get a job? Yeah, say.
Oh, I forgot to shout out best channel on YouTube, telmoasampaio.
Yeah.
Best tutorial. There we go. All right.
Do you think that people they can still get a job in web development without getting any degree? And what kind of steps would you advise people to take? Let's say I am someone who wants to get into web development. I don't know nothing. What kind of steps would you tell me to do? If you were just I'm your neighbor,
okay.
You know what I mean? I want to get into web development. What you advise me?
Yeah, okay, sure. So to answer your first part of the question is, I would say it's such a complicated question because it really depends on where you live. Okay, that can be a really big factor on if you need a bachelor's degree or not, because some countries will look more for a bachelor degrees than others. For example, I don't even know. Maybe even at your place in UK, probably in London or more popular, trendy cities, will have more jobs open for people without a degree, like startups, right? Because there are a lot of startups in bigger cities. So those people usually don't really look for a degree. They just want good developers and just get going with something, right? So that's a big thing you can definitely keep in mind. But it's definitely possible. Again, even if you're were unfortunate like me and to live in a city where there's literally no web dev jobs, try to find something remote. Try to even just freelance for yourself. You don't need a degree to start working with people. Literally, the first freelance client I had, I just walked up. I have a hotel in my neighborhood, and I walked up to them and I'm like, "Hey, do you guys need a website?" And yeah, they didn't care.
Wow, so you did a little bit of freelancing.
Yeah. So just walked up, showed them my mini project. They liked it. They were like, yeah, we want a website. Bam, there we go. Just like that. No degrees, no nothing. You can get going. Just do it, even if you don't have a degree. And for the second part of your question was, what advice would I give to someone who would I guess to get you interested? Was that a question, to get you interested, or
no? I am.
You already interested? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I want to start learning, and just basically, where should I start? Where should I go? What things should I learn first?
All right. So if you're going for a front end route, I would advise just pick up HTML, CSS, right? And don't worry if you don't know CSS that well, because CSS is a kind of a thing that you keep learning over years and years, you're never gonna know. It's like, oh, my website broke for some reason. So this still happens, I think, to everybody. So yeah, so from there on, I would say JavaScript, catch up with ES6 with all the nice, awesome features. Then you would have a route here to go for either React, Vue, or Angular. I don't know, man. I'm really a big fan of React. And considering the job market, it's just so easy to recommend. And that's why I would put strong emphasis on ES6, right? Because we use a bunch of things in React that are ES6, from map to whatchamacallit. Yeah, exactly. So that's a good route to go to. Then for state management, I mean, there are so many. You can Redux is the most popular one. If you're interested in something else, something a bit easier would be MobX. Redux can be very challenging at first, so if you're getting discouraged, don't worry. It takes time to pick that up. But when it clicks, I believe it's really good. Yeah, MobX. What else? Yeah, these two are probably the most popular ones. And I wouldn't say you should worry about Webpack and all the other things. And this might be, a lot of people will disagree with me, but when you're starting, this can get really overwhelming. And I think you would agree with me, right? Oh, and I need to learn Webpack and all the other crap that we don't really care about, honestly. So yeah, something like Create React App is really good. Vue CLI, I believe, on Vue side is also great. It just gets you going really fast, kind of obscures everything else. And quickly to get into backend, so maybe you really like and you've done your front end and you're like, hey, I need an API to work with. You can get one online, but if you're ambitious like me and Talmo, you're going to be like, no, I'm going to learn how to make my own API. That way, Node is really good because you already know JavaScript. I think that's a no-brainer for JavaScript developers. Node is really good. Express as a framework on top of that is quite easy. Then for database, now this is where people are going to be angry, but MongoDB, there are a lot of SQL fans out there. But the only reason I'm saying MongoDB is because it's just, I don't know, it just integrates so nicely. It's so easy to pick up. It's going to feel really, really at home for JavaScript developers. So that's the only reason it's easy to pick it up. Then maybe an ORM like Mongoose is really nice on top of Mongo. And yeah, from there on, if you're like interested in backends, just look up on things like authentication, password hashing with bcrypt, and what am I missing? I don't even all the other yeah.
People already have like loads of stuff to get.
Oh man, there's so much stuff out there. Yeah, authentication, like sessions, cookies.
That's like you are saying, people, they just like get overwhelmed because there's like so many things out there. And yeah, you were just like before we finish, you were just like touching briefly on that you were doing some kind of freelance before.
Yes.
Did you start doing freelancing like before you got your first job?
Yes. So yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just saying, like, you were starting like doing some freelancing. Was it you tried to do this like, okay, maybe I'm just going to do some freelancing and I'm just going to work for myself, and or you just felt like, oh, I just need to get some experience, so I'm going to do stuff. Or I want to make some money on the side. I don't know what you were doing before, just a student or.
Yeah, so I believe you should always work on yourself, always grow yourself, even if you're working at a company, even if you're freelancing. I don't think that matters too much. That's why it's just to grow your own brand, I think, is the strongest thing you can do, right? So just growing yourself, get yourself known is definitely very, very important, even if you work or you don't work at a company or remote. But yeah, I did remote before I worked at my first company. So that was just a nice transition because I had something to go into the place I worked at. Right now, I'm not working. I moved here like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just trying to find something around here.
Right. So you did the move, like now you're trying to get a job there in Germany where you moved.
Yeah. But again, that doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. I'm still working on my projects. I'm still trying to build my YouTube channel. So you're still growing. It doesn't feel like, okay, I'm not working now, I'm not doing anything, right? You're still learning, growing. You're growing my YouTube. Yeah.
So at the moment, for example, you are not doing any freelancing.
No.
But this is something.
I'm a free man.
This is something that you are not interested, or you just like prefer to work on a company. What's like your opinion on this?
Yeah, I would say my goal is now to probably look for a company and then move into, just work at a company and also grow my YouTube channel at the same time. I think those are my two big goals. Because, freelancing is nice and all of that. You can make your own schedule and whatever, but it's not that consistent, right? Especially if you're not known. Because you might have 2-3 projects to work on, and then all of a sudden you might not do anything for 2 weeks. And I cannot do that right now. I need like a really, and I also like working with other people, and I'm interested in just diving into like working in React, just like you.
Yeah, exactly. This is something that people they quite don't understand. They think that freelancing is just like flowers and roses and everything. Everything is a paradise, but it's just like you're saying, you're going to be dealing with some clients. Sometimes they are just like horrible, and then you might have work just like for a month, and then in the next 2 months you don't have nothing, and you are all the time just like worried. So it's always good to be working on a company like you are saying now, and just have something on the side that can make a supplement. It's just like the best option, like I think. And when you grow this thing on the side to a certain point, maybe you can do a jump. But
that would be awesome. Future goals. And also, like, remember, if you're doing like freelance stuff, probably 90% I would say you're going to do like WordPress, right? Because people want blogs, people want basic websites, right? And you're probably going to do a lot of WordPress. So that might get tiring because you're probably not going to come across a lot of people, customers or clients when you're freelancing.
Some React project with Backend and stuff. Probably there is not going to be too many of those that they just want a WordPress website that they can update some kind of content in there, and that's it. And you're not going to grow as a developer doing these kind of things like over and over again. You are completely right. This is one of the things as well why I don't like to do this, because I want to learn as much as I can, improve myself, and that's it basically.
That would be cool though. A client comes up to you, hey, I want a GraphQL React project.
So I guess that's it for our interview. I guess we got to know you like much better now. And people they can check your channel down. Please make sure you go and subscribe to Ed's channel. I really enjoyed this channel when I saw it for the first time. So guys, please go and check that, subscribe to his channel. And Ed, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you today,
for taking the time to make this interview with me. Like I said, guys, go check him out. Link is in the description down below. And Ed, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.